Yes, people, I'm talking about yet another Fire Emblem character because Smash Brothers fans seem to love Fire Emblem so much. They want to see Fire Emblem get so much more representation, don't they? Because I know I certainly do, and I'm hoping you do too. Hello, everybody. My name is Sniping is Fun, and I welcome you back to the next character in this long-running series of newcomer ideas for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Fighter Pass, the DLC, the Smash Bros. Series in general. As I mentioned in my last video, character 133 on the road to 150 with Minecraft Steve. This time, I'm jumping back into a Fire Emblem. I'm talking about another Fire Emblem character which I haven't talked about in a while. I've talked about the four main protagonists from Three Houses. I talked about Alm and Celica and Gray, and I'm sure I missed someone else. I talked about a good probably 7, 8 Fire Emblem characters already, and these 133 so far, now up to 134. I want to talk about another one because I haven't talked about Heroes yet. Their phone mobile game. And there's a lot of good choices from there. And I actually had some other characters planned long ago, like the brother and sister duo. I cut them out when I did the characters I cut from my list. I'm sure I had them on my list when I was doing that, the characters I cut from my list. But this character's come to my mind recently. I recently added this character to my list like about a couple of weeks ago. Given that I haven't played Heroes in quite some time, and then I've seen what's going on in Book 3 and the main villain and all the crazy dark world stuff, and I wanted to do a video on this character because I think she would be a really cool representative in Smash Brothers, and it represents a different side of Fire Emblem, which I think a lot of you haters out there actually would love to see when the next representative, and it's going to happen, there's always a new Fire Emblem representative over Smash Brothers, even two sometimes. The next obvious Fire Emblem character could very well be this, and I think she'd be a cool choice. And character 134 is Hal from Fire Emblem / Fire Emblem Three Houses. Now, why does this character deserve to get in? Why does Fire Emblem Heroes deserve to be the next choice for representative from Smash Brothers? Well, let's get this going. Let's get this started. Without further ado, before this intro goes on too long, 3 parts of this video, 3 categories. Why does the character make sense for Smash Bros? Moveset ideas, and percentage chance I can see him actually getting in. Now, okay, Fire Emblem first and foremost, I've already said this, I probably said the same thing for like every single Fire Emblem character on this list. Fire Emblem is one of Nintendo's more old school, older series, and one of their more popular series. Definitely not the most popular, because I'm sure a lot of you haters out there would say, oh no, this series is more popular, and this series is more iconic. I said one of, not the top one. So, calm down, please. But it is one of Nintendo's most popular franchises, and it's definitely become more popular since Awakening, and since Marth and Roy got into Melee years ago. The series has received more push from Nintendo. It's one of Nintendo's most pushed franchises, so them getting a new character is obvious. Maybe not for the Fire Pass DLC, but obviously when Smash 6, 7, 8, 9 come out, there's always at least one new Fire Emblem character every Smash Bros. At least one, sometimes 2, maybe even 3. Calm down. I know you don't want to see that many, but the world doesn't revolve around you. So, yes, Fire Emblem is one of the most iconic series. It's been around since 1990. It is almost 30 years old. It's going on its 16th game. It's got a mobile game, which she's from, and it's one of the most popular franchises for Nintendo now, and one of their most heavily pushed, heavily marketed, heavily advertised franchises. Representing another character from it makes good business sense. And when it comes to Heroes, it is a huge success. Their mobile, it's probably Nintendo's most hugest success besides Pokemon Go, which wasn't actually made by Nintendo. In the mobile market, it's one of their most popular mobile games. They're on the 3rd season of storylines and DLC and all that for it. People still play it in the bucket loads. There's a ton of classic characters in there. They throw in new characters in there. This game is popular. It is heavily, heavily popular. And I think representing another character, regardless of it being from Three Houses or not, could also represent Three Houses as an advertising and marketing choice. And I think even representing Heroes and not representing someone like Elgard or Byleth or Claude or Dimitri could still help, advertise for that, because some of these characters from Heroes might be very well be DLC in Three Houses, and Three Houses characters will eventually be put into Heroes, so it's like cross-marketing kind of thing. So it's easily marketing Heroes, regardless if the characters from Heroes or not. I mean, Three Houses, if it's from Three Houses or not. And it's just... It's like Heroes is a huge success, and Fire Emblem is a legendary franchise with numerous games, and it's hugely popular and pushed by Nintendo. So that's why Fire Emblem should be represented. Heroes character should be represented, and marketing three houses, whether it's a 3,000 character or not, should be represented. But why hell specifically? First and foremost, she looks really cool. Look at that. She's like a demented half demon, human, skeleton, ghost, god, demon-like hybrid. And she has a cool design. She has a scythe, which will be totally different from everyone in there, because I know you don't like sword users. And then it's a villain rep. We don't have a villain from Fire Emblem, and a lot of people would say, okay, this character, the Black Knight, which now is a Sis trophy, or Medus, or what's his name from Ashnard from Ike's games or whatever, but it's like, or Gangrel or whatever, but it's like, some of those characters are either not super relevant now or already put into another position and whatnot. How we'd have to probably, they normally represent characters that are more relevant to the time the Smash game is out, and what's more relevant than the most recent DLC in terms of heroes. So she's probably one of the villains standing out the most right now, besides possibly a villain from Three Houses or a villain from like Echoes or something like that. Sorry to say, or a villain that was relative to really important to Warriors, that was from like Marth's games, Fates, or Awakening. So yeah, as a villain rep, she's the most diverse villain we could probably get, one of the most relevant villains in the Fire Emblem series right now. She has a cool moveset, potential cool look, and it represents Fire Emblem history and advertises Three Houses, advertises heroes, and it's just, I think she just stands out as a choice. There you go. Moveset ideas. Now, as you can see, she looks like some floating demon goddess, half skeleton, half human thing. She's based off is it Norse mythology? And I know they're based off, like the characters are based off a certain mythology, and I don't know exactly what it is. But this is from like a mythological type character. But she wields a scythe, she's half dead, half human kind of thing, and she's like the main villain from the new season of Heroes. I see her as a very quick, agile, floaty character. So you think, how like Jigglypuff's floaty, Kirby's floaty. She's super floaty. She's easy to move around the sky. She could probably float up a little bit or hover at least a little bit. She obviously probably doesn't really walk too much on her feet, so when she moves around, maybe she's hovering a little bit. And she's quick and agile, so you could very well use her to evade attacks. But her smash attacks go exclusively to the scythe, which would make it for a diverse moveset, and you can do one of two swipes. Quick swipes, because obviously she has the power to probably swipe really quick, even wielding a scythe, which is a freaking, if you ever held a scythe, it's probably really heavy. But she's like half god type figure anyway, so she can wield it with ease. But quick swipes, they won't do as much damage, but you can do a little bit of combo with them. There also will be more powerful, chargeable swipes that take time, because obviously, like, getting ready to swing will take a little bit of time. So it's like those kind of attacks are more power-based and more timing. So you can get, like, quick swipes, like, and then you take the scythe back, you're like, and it's like build up, it's slow build up, it's like, bam, that kind of thing. So the scythe is exclusively everything to deal with her smash attacks. Everything, she floats around, she can do quick swipes, she can do more powerful charge-based swipes that take time. So you have to know when to do quick swipes and when do you want to do the build-up swipes, because the more powerful swipes take time to build up, because obviously wielding a scythe isn't just like taking a little like sword and be like, you have to sometimes do like, it's more weight to it. So it's obviously going to be more build-up and more like taking time to plan out your attacks kind of thing. I think that'd be kind of cool and makes her a little bit more of a strategic character if you really want to do the heavy damage. Given the scythe, be more of a strategic weapon to wield. And then the quick swipes are just to kind of build up to that. So it's like if you're doing less damage. And when it comes to her special attacks, I haven't played Heroes in quite some time since they especially went to Book 3. So I don't know exactly how she fights. But I thought of a way for her to not only represent what she might be able to do in the game, because I don't know what she can do besides be scythed. I don't know what kind of dark magical powers or any special abilities she really has. But I gave her dark magic exclusively as her special, not necessarily represent what type of character she is, because given that she's like some mythological type figure that is half dead, I'm sure she knows dark magic and can use magical abilities. But I wanted to represent all the dark wizard type, dark robe summoner type characters throughout the Fire Emblem series. We see most of the good magic represented through Robin, besides Nosferatu, which he or she doesn't really technically do. But, Elf Fire and the wind and lightning and all that stuff is basically more the good magic. don't have any dark magic besides Nosferatu from Fire Emblem represented in Smash Brothers yet. And there's numerous different ones throughout the series. So what I did for her special attacks is make them all exclusively magic. So it's basically evil, half skeleton, dead, demented Robin, replace the sword with a scythe, and turn all the magic into dark magic. So basically, Ruin, Nosferatu can reappear in hers. Luna, Waste, Meyer, Fenrir, Worm, Flux, Apocalypse. So various different dark magic she can basically just wield. So some are more range, some are more close range, some are chargeable, some are not, some are more powerful, some are not. But it represents different magic, and whether or not she actually in the games does it, I gave it to her, like I said before, not to specifically represent just Hell and just Fire Emblem Three Houses Book 3, but also the Fire Emblem series as a whole in terms of the dark magician, evil summoner villains, because those are throughout the entire series. If you ever played the Fire Emblem series, you know there's always some evil, dark, magical person that could use magic. So some of these are from older games, some of these are from newer games. So it's a anniversary type of thing. It's like repping the whole series and different dark magic throughout it. That I think is kind of cool because it doesn't just represent her; it represents the whole series. In the final smash, it's just a big giant dark slash. You get the smash ball, you break it, she floats up to the middle of the screen, and she just takes her scythe and just does this big dark slash halfway through the screen, maybe one or two, like, and these big giant like dark cross slashes with evil mystic power flowing through them just cut the screen, and any opponent that's hit with it will receive massive damage, and if you have high enough damage, you'll be sent flying off the stage, obviously. It's kind of like Meta Knight's Final Smash, like in Brawl. So like a very more powerful, demented, darker, evil version of that. She just floats up to the middle of the screen, does like two big slashes, making just giant like cross acts across the stage. It's like she broke reality and makes this dark, demented thing break, and she broke the stage. You know, and then anyone that's in the vicinity, it's like the X-bomb thing, like those things, but it's like made of dark, evil X. She broke reality and broke your screen, kind of thing. Broke the stage, broke whatever. And then you just get blown off the stage. It's not particularly original, but it fits her character, and it's more evil and mystifying, and it represents the scythe in the dark magic, so I think it's kind of cool. Okay, percentage chance I can see her getting in. Not very likely, though. Like I said, I've been pushing her up and hyping her up this entire video, but she's not the most likely next Fire Emblem character. I don't know if they would go for a character from Heroes. I really don't. At this point, if they would have included someone, we probably would have saw the brother or sister duo when Chrom was announced in the main base roster, or someone from Book 2, like Fjorm or something, if they wanted to represent Heroes. She's a little too new, which is sad because she'd be so freaking awesome. And if they want to represent their Fire Emblem character in the DLC, it's obvious at this point they're going to want to represent Three Houses with Edelgard or Byleth or Dimitri or Claude. So they're going to want to represent one of them. Not Heroes, not this mobile game, but it's still there, given that it's still a major success for them. And obviously the Three Houses characters will be in Heroes at some point, and Heroes characters might very well be DLC alongside older cast of characters probably for Three Houses, because the last couple of games have allowed you to pretty much buy DLC and use classic characters like in Fates and Awakening and whatnot. So I'm going to give her a 25% chance. Not very likely, but still possibly there, because I do think she's one of the likely choices if Heroes is picked for the DLC, for if they want to put in the Fire Emblem character for the DLC. But want to make it Heroes. I think she has a likely chance, but chances are it's going to want to be Three Houses for advertising purposes. So there you go. 25% chance for Hell from Fire Emblem Heroes. That's it for Hell. Put down there below. What do you guys think? Have you played the newest season of the story for Fire Emblem Heroes? Would you think Hell would be a good choice, or maybe someone else from her army, like her daughter or one of her knights, like that? I forgot the character's name, but there's like this dark soldier-looking guy. It looks like Chrom's character from Tokyo Mirage Session. He looks kind of cool, but he probably will have a sword. So you guys hate him, don't you? Put in the comments below. You guys want to see this character, or do you want to see another Fire Emblem character get represented, like one of the Three Houses ones or something? My moveset makes sense. What would you change the moveset? My moveset sound cool. 25% too high, too low. My reasons for why she deserves to get in. Makes sense to get in. Good reasons. What reasons would you have? Put in the comment section below. Discuss it down there. My name is Sniping is Fun. Peace. Please subscribe if you want to. Have a lovely day. And when I come back for character 135, we're going to jump from one Nintendo franchise to the other. I just talked about Fire Emblem. I'm now going to be talking about a character from the Yoshi franchise. A franchise I haven't surprisingly talked a lot about in this series. I talked about Kamek at some point, who's still mostly a Mario character, and I talked about Yarn Yoshi. This time I want to talk about a character that's been in the Yoshi franchise forever, pretty much. That being Poochie. See you later in the next video.